All right, here we go. So, welcome back to the Shit Chat podcast with myself, James, and my co-host,
Louise.
Today is a very special episode of the podcast. It's our third episode, so we've made it to 3, so that's kind of exciting.
Coming from all the way from Palm Beach in New South Wales, aka to all you home and away fans out there, it's the home of
Summer Bay. So we've been walking here on the beach for the last hour, well, not on the beach, but around Summer Bay for the last hour and a half and exploring, and it's kind of first impressions is it's a lot smaller than I anticipated.
That's exactly what I expected. But I'd read the reviews beforehand, so that probably helped.
So yeah, it's the home of Summer Bay, our home and away. Something that we kind of watched when we were teens growing up in Ireland.
Yeah.
Quite popular in Ireland. I'm not sure how popular it is around the world, but...
I don't know how popular it is right now, but it's still on anyway.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen any cast members, but it is a Saturday morning, so I feel like, hopefully they all have a life and are off doing nice things.
Yeah, not stuck to Summer Bay.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've kind of explored around, so we've seen a few different things.
We've seen where the diner should be, and we've seen where the bait shop should be. Unfortunately, they're all under renovation at the moment, and by under renovation, they're non-existent. They've all been knocked.
Yeah, so that might be a big spoiler for the upcoming episodes.
I presume they're going to have to burn it down, or have an earthquake, or God only knows, a plane could crash into it.
So yeah, that's gone and being rebuilt. And half the pier with it, the iconic pier that we see a lot of people ponder on.
But at least we got half the pier.
Yeah. Couldn't get out to it, but yeah, we saw
with the iconic coastline,
Yeah.
And you see those waves crashing over there. That's iconic from the theme tune.
We do get to see the surf club.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of as is.
And it says Summer Bay on it, which was a nice little shout out.
Patron of A. Stewart.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Old Alf. Who we thought we saw in the supermarket the other day, but it was actually just false alarm. It was just an older man wearing a bucket hat.
and a check shirt and chinos.
Yeah, it was a pretty good look-alike. I was tempted to just ask for a picture anyway, but anyway.
That'd be a bit weird.
That would be a bit weird.
So yeah, we've made our travels down here today to kind of see our iconic spots. But today we're going to focus a little bit more on
Dubai.
Yes. So last day we were talking about Abu Dhabi and
this is the second stop on our UAE itinerary and final stop in that.
Yes. It is a continuation of our Cheesecake Exploration from the last one. So if you enjoyed the Cheesecake Chat,
stay tuned. If you didn't, it's probably not a podcast for you, really.
But we'll have a little chat about what we did in Dubai as well, the other attractions and activities as we get into it. But I suppose how we got there, we were raving about the buses in Abu Dhabi.
So the Halifax card didn't get us to Dubai. We did purchase another one, and we got a nice, good value bus. What did it take? About 3 hours, isn't it?
3 hours in the bus, yeah.
Very comfortable journey. No Wi-Fi on it because we didn't get any SIMs in the airport. But oh well.
And yeah, we got there. Before getting on the bus, we were kind of attacked by taxi men trying to sell us taxi rides. And I think the way they were trying to sell it was they were saying 2020, which I assume was 40.
I think it was 60-60.
Or 60-60, which I assume was 120. Trying to, I suppose, undercut the buses, but they really weren't. And didn't really trust where they were coming from.
And by attacked also, they much kept their distance and just asked us whether we would like a taxi.
It was a bit more aggressive than that. Maybe to me, maybe more of you.
Swarm.
Yeah, there was a couple of guys around us trying to get us in, and they didn't look overly official. But anyway, we got the bus to Dubai. We landed at our accommodation.
Very impressed.
Yeah, another lovely spot.
Yeah.
And it had a kitchen.
Nice kitchen.
Nice kitchen. It had a gym, not in the room, but in the facilities, which was actually really good. Because we'd used the gym in Abu Dhabi, and it was nice to continue that on for another little bit. Couldn't really walk outside, so it's a good way to get this exercise in. Try and stay fit.
Counteract the cheesecakes.
Counteract the cheesecakes. And the one thing that we were really happy with is I had a
washing machine.
So we got up to date with our laundry, got some of the clothes back that we had used so far, which was very handy as well.
Looked like a laundry shop.
Yes.
Meant clothes hanging up around the gaff.
Should look no harm. And I suppose the first stop off we went to after that was the Dubai Mall, so we might just tap on that now straight away.
Great spot, number one spot in Dubai, in our opinion. Everything you want, right there. I mean, not actual shops, of course.
We didn't really go into the shops at all, yes. but it had
Walking, it had fountain shows, it had food,
an aircon walking.
and so much aircon.
Yeah, so I was only after like 2 or 3 days of exploring that in the evenings.
So we got a grasp of it.
Yeah, it's huge. It is phenomenal. And as we said, it's cool. You can walk around. And it had a very much a different vibe to Abu Dhabi. There's a lot of women going around in having their shoulders out, a little bit more relaxed. A few people holding hands.
It's nice to have the shoulders out again.
Yeah, it was a bit more Western.
Nice to have the knees out.
And not feel under pressure, I suppose.
Yeah, I could show a little bit more affection.
Not more. I still probably a bit
Wouldn't have
hesitant.
risked a kiss or even a holding hand. We were kind of a bit more reserved until our final day or two. But got into the swing of it again.
And I suppose one of the main things that we enjoyed in Abu Dhabi was the fountain at the mall.
Yeah, class.
And it was something that you obviously had researched beforehand. We kind of stumbled onto one night, kind of walked outside and found this big open pond area. And then out of nowhere, music starts playing.
Yeah, really loud music.
And water starts shooting up out of the pond.
Whilst, having a great view of the Burj Khalifa, of course.
Yes, one of the tallest buildings in the world, previously the tallest building in the world.
Which was having its own little light show as well.
Yeah.
In time to the music. It was great.
And we stuck around there for
3 shows.
three shows. Didn't really catch too much of the first show because we were at the wrong side of the fountain. But then we caught the 2 next ones.
Yeah.
And the first one we caught properly was one that you rather enjoyed anyway. I thought it was beautiful as well.
Loved it.
It was the Time to Say Goodbye.
Anthem. The anthem that is Time to Say Goodbye.
And it really was phenomenal. The cannons were really shooting water about 60, 70 metres above the pond. It was really rather impressive.
Yeah.
And it's well worth spending an hour and a half out there having a look.
Nice and free.
Nice and free. And it's a little bit cooler in the evening, so you can tolerate being outside for that period of time. And there are loads of eateries there as well that you could sit out on the balcony and have a drink. And have a good view.
Have a drink. I don't know whether they serve a drink or not.
Yeah, we didn't really. Well, I'd imagine there are some places there that'll serve a bit of alcohol, but.
Interestingly, we only had alcohol one night in the whole of the UAE.
And that was Yas Island that we talked about in the last podcast. Yeah. Shinay. So yeah, that mall really was a highlight, and it was home to one of the cheesecake factories. And one that we've frequented a few times as well, that we'll get into a little bit more. But outside the Cheesecake Factory, we had the Dumai Mall Aquarium.
Oh, right.
And the aquarium was...
Not that we went into it.
Not that you needed to.
No.
Well, you might have. It might have been really cool on the inside, but you had a full 3-story high glass pane window full of sea life, sharks, fish, stingrays, the whole lot. So that's quite cool view when you're waiting for your Cheesecake Factory table to be ready. That was there as well. But one of the big spenny things that we did while on the trip in Dubai was go to the
Atlantis water park.
Yeah. It's definitely the priciest activity we've probably done.
Well, priciest for
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a nice day. Would you say it's worth the money?
I wouldn't do it again.
Wouldn't do it again. Nice to have done.
I suppose we've done it, so that's why I wouldn't do it again. But it was good.
Any main highlights from the day?
The 2 drop slides are class.
Yeah.
One of them, the floor just goes from underneath you, and you go down the tube just right down. It was really, really good.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd do that, to be fair, but it was quite enjoyable. Bit of a rush. Bit scary at the start, but counts you down and then you go. And then the lazy river is probably my favourite. Just sitting in a donut for about an hour, being brought around loads of different spots, doing a few ripple rides. Like, it's really long and it's quite enjoyable. A few little thrills along the way. So yeah, that was a day well spent there. But we
moving on. Then we went to the safari another day.
Yeah.
Desert safari. The deal we got was kind of a taster of everything. It was, we got the
sandboarding, camel ride.
Yeah. We did the quad biking.
And the dune bashing.
Dune bashing was good.
Yeah, it was kind of like the camel riding was brief. You were on the camel, you walked out to the desert, got a picture, and that was it.
Oh, it took all of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, there was a little bit of dilemma afterwards whether that's, you know, animal cruelty or not. I think it's okay, but still a blurred line, so I don't know. We're gonna hold judgment on that one.
The quad biking, which was paid extra on the day, it was kind of like, you're going to be waiting around here for an hour, you may as well pay the 150 or 200 AED, I think it was, for the two of us to get onto a quad bike and go out around the desert for a half hour. It was fun.
That was fun.
The dune bashing, though, was probably the best part of it.
All of us in the four-wheel drive,
Yeah.
going up and down the sand dunes in the desert. It's class.
There was a bit of skill involved for the driver, to be fair.
Yeah.
He was doing some great work.
And the American to my left was about to vomit. He asked that on the way back, could we please not do the bashing? Which was fine.
Fine as well. And then the sandboarding, we basically just sat on a board, went down a hill, had to climb back up it.
It's not what we were expecting.
Very underwhelming. But all in all, it was a nice taster of a desert. Early morning start. We were back by
long
lunch.
enough to be spent in the desert. Who needs to go to a desert for a few hours? You know, you only want to taste it, really.
Exactly.
It's hot out there.
Yeah, I did a little 50-meter run just to see what it'd be like. Wouldn't recommend it. I don't know how anyone does that marathon, the Stables,
Yeah.
7-day ultra marathon to Sabs across the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, nice experience. It was cheap enough, to be fair, before you put in the quad biking. It was just nice to get the little taster.
Yeah.
We also did a little late night cruise and dinner.
On the marina?
Of the marina, yeah, that was quite nice as well.
It was very nice. And we enjoyed it. But you know what? We probably didn't need a cruise of it because the marina itself was so nice. A little walk of it and sit out on the shore was fine.
You got as much doing that, to be fair. We didn't get anything extra by going on it.
But you know, this is at the start of the trip and we had money to burn, so.
Yeah, we threw it at everything. Yeah, I suppose you mentioned there walking the marina. We walked down to the beach one evening, sat out on the beach. We had got a cheesecake at this stage, and we were basically looking across the bay at a massive Ferris wheel that was lighting up. This is a really good vibe. There was a few people swimming. It was a lovely temperature. That is really my favourite spot of Dubai. Between that and the mall, really, that you can kind of chill out and relax. Well, I suppose we'll come back to food now. Probably the bit that we'll be most enthusiastic about. And so the day we arrived there, we went straight to the Cheesecake Factory, and we did get dinner with before we got our cheesecake. And you had got a chicken burger, and I got a burrito. Now the burrito, no word of a lie, was the size of my forearm. It was massive. Definitely something to see. It was tasty, but it was way too much in it. And I suppose what you've all been waiting for, maybe, is to talk about our cheesecakes. So that first night we had got the white chocolate raspberry cheesecake. And what's your initial thoughts on this one, Louise? Bearing in mind that you only liked one of the three that we had in Abu Dhabi.
Wow, it was fantastic.
Won you back over, did it?
Yeah, it was great. A really solid cheesecake.
Yeah, it's definitely one. It's one I hadn't tasted before, and it was definitely one of my highlights as well. It was really, really good. Yeah,
very refreshing. Very much our cheesecake for after a meal. You know, really good. It wasn't overpoweringly rich, but just really hit the spot.
Yeah, it was really
10
good.
out of 10. I said it.
Oh wow.
Well, no, sorry. It was 10 out of 10, but I still think I preferred the first one.
The Adams is 10.5 out of 10.
The Adams was 10 plus.
Another night after a walk, the
caramel de leche. Or dulce de leche?
Dulce de leche?
Cheesecake, oh, phenomenal.
That's the one we had by the Ferris wheel.
I think the views also made it. It was a fantastic evening all round. But no, it was a great cheesecake.
Yeah, it was definitely very refreshing. Probably the most refreshing one is the lightest one I felt out of the ones we've had. Definitely a really nice one to get. And then another day we had got just a salted caramel one. Again, another very solid one. That was the time that I had got that, and I think you had got the Adams again, was it?
Yeah,
you
it was a
defaulted
day,
back.
I think we had cheesecake for lunch. And we decided we'd get one each.
And we had half for lunch and half for dinner.
And I did have a taste of your salted caramel and it was nice. But yeah, wasn't as good as my Adams.
Yeah, you really are sold on that. I think, we did get an Oreo one once as well that we hadn't mentioned before. That might have been in Abu Dhabi actually. And I think it was a bit cakey for your liking. And the reason I bring that up is that there was a Reese's peanut butter one that I said you had to try, but we ended up leaving it off because it was a very cakey looking one. And then it wasn't there one evening when we went and we might as well try it then. So yeah, I suppose loads of different cheesecakes over our exploration of the UAE. And probably, if we had to put your top 3?
Oh, well, very obvious. Adams
of Verhain?
Adams, dulce de leche, and the strawberry white chocolate. Yeah.
The raspberry white chocolate.
Raspberry white chocolate.
Yeah, it's probably something similar for me. I probably preferred the salted caramel one actually. That one was brilliant. And I would be Adams definitely number 1, white chocolate number 2, and then salted caramel number 3.
Oh, mine weren't in order. I hadn't decided on order. That was just top 3.
Do you have an order?
I'm not sure. I know I said Adams was 10.5, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not too sure. Maybe they're all just 10.5s.
Okay.
Well, there's no such thing. They're all 10s.
A very conflicted Louise there at the end of that one.
I think it depends what mood you're in, you know?
Yeah. So I suppose, all in all, Dubai
is a great, you know,
great
we
spot.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know people have said, oh, it's very commercial, very Americanized. And yeah, it is those things, but I think you just take it as it is. We loved it. And we preferred it to, I preferred it to the UAE, but I liked having my shoulders and my knees out now, to be fair. That earned it a lot of points.
Yeah, to Abu Dhabi, yeah. Yeah, definitely less conservative, definitely more Americanizing with the culture. And yeah, I suppose the mall, the birds, the fountain show, which are all 3 are beside each other, and then the marina. So we stay close to the mall, but actually I'd probably stay close to the marina. I think there's more down there, and then trip up to the mall as we're finished up. So I suppose we'll call it there for today.
Yeah.
You can just see before we finish up the surf club, it's just over the brow of the hill there, the iconic surf club and the restaurant that's on top of it. But our parking meter's probably up and we need to head back to the car. So thanks again for listening, and tune in the next day as we move to Thailand. Slán Gafol.
Bye.